So in the past 1 week, I have many video sharing. What do you guys think?
Well, I think, I mean, what you said is right. So the problem, for example, when many people say my Wing Chun, your Wing Chun, and my Wing Chun is better than your Wing Chun, all that stuff. This is a thing which really happens in Wing Chun 1960, because people claim to have the better teacher, better way of Wing Chun. That technique is better than other people's technique, and this is a big problem. And like you always mention, Wing Chun is not about the art itself. It's about business, and yes, and many things have been lost through the past years, 140 years, and yes, and this is a disaster, to be honest. And then you talked about the way. I mean, you in the other video you were showing us about shadow boxing. Okay, so the form is kind of shadow boxing. It's a functional training, and you can do it also, free moving and working all the 3 levels, which is the upper, middle, and the lower level. So you have always, multi-directional movement when you do the shadow boxing, the way you showed it in the video, and I found it really good. And this is something everybody should do, and not stand there and do structure-based training with no functional movements and no breathing and no momentum. And yes, this is all missing in the 1960 version. And then you have talked about Wing Chun technical support. So we have the Facebook group, and yes, one has to be really rational when he talks about in this group, because many people come to this group and claim, again, my Wing Chun is better than your Wing Chun. Let's talk about technique and this and that, and it's always the same. So hopefully it's gonna change. And this is my opinion to it.
Okay, like Daniel said, okay. Like Daniel said, it's strange that they're always talking about my Wing Chun and his Wing Chun. And when I did boxing, they never thought, oh, that's a different kind of boxing. Only over you talk about the person who was good, and it doesn't matter what school he went. And how is it like from I go to that Wing Chun school, and then it's all different than the other Wing Chun school, and they do the same. This 1960 Wing Chun, so it's not so different. Only the 80-50 Wing Chun is different, and in the last video you talk about the shadow boxing. I recognize it from when I was boxing. And it's good to see that, so you can recognize what you do in the SLT, and it's good to know that. And it's so good that you opened the Facebook account again, and hope that people respond positive, so we can work together, like and we can share. So I think it's a good thing.
That is the Wing Chun education today. We like it or not. Notice I say educations. It's bankrupt already. I have been proving to everybody, to the entire world, by evidence. Okay, compared with the ancient, today's Wing Chun education is already bankrupt. Number one thing about your Wing Chun, my Wing Chun. What Wing Chun? I just shared the other day on the breathing. Tell me anybody in the past 140 years have that. If you don't have that, you want to fight a Western boxer? Can you fight a judoka who trained in the Olympic? So it is a problem there that the education is completely bankrupt, and you end up with your Wing Chun, my Wing Chun, and what Wing Chun? If you cannot even breathe, what Wing Chun? If you cannot breathe, that means you don't have stamina. That means you get into the VO2 max, you see right away, you cannot function. You look at the Western boxer training. Did everybody go through those scientific training? So right now, your Xiu Lim Tao set today is a waste of time. What do you develop? Do you develop your body, how to handling your body? Do you develop how to breathe? You don't. So how are you going to face Xi Xiaodong? It is this clear. That's why Xi Xiaodong, when he presented Wing Chun in his video, you cannot argue. Because everybody is doing that. And then the teacher, when you go to a school, the teacher is beating up the student. And they end up that for 140 years, past 140 years. You look at, like, say, Western boxing, how many superstars come up for past 140 years? You have Ramsey, you have so many different people, like Mike Tyson's coach and everybody. You have so many superstars there. What do you have in Wing Chun for past 140 years? All names. And as I shared the other day, with evidence from Asia, did anybody respect you at all? And then keeping fighting each other inside, and you can see all the mess up there. And the basic is left unattended. You don't know how to use your body. You don't know how to breathe. What martial arts? And you talk about internal what? You got those Tai Chi guy internal. How come Xi Xiaodong is challenging everybody left and right for past so many years, and nobody ever defeat him by technical? And he's just he's not even a pro in MMA, right? That is the reality. So that's how serious the issue right now is. It is a profession. It is like if you are a boxing coach, it is a profession. You look at the boxing coach today, they learn different things, sports science, functional training. They do all kinds of stuff. And then when they are students, you guys go to competition before. You need to get doctors checked before you can go into the competition. Am I right?
Yes, true.
So how do you play this thing? So Wing Chun today, we like it or not, is something called make-believe. Like Xi Xiaodong said, quote him, okay? Make-believe is a demonstrations. That's what Xi Xiaodong said. With the evidence, how can you deny that? Like I share on this Xiu Lim Tao set. Even just the first one. How many practice, how many training do we have on that thing? If we never develop that, what do you do, Xu Lim Tao? Are you sure? So like I shared in the Wing Chun Inception, all the synchronization, all is written there. And now I put it in the sport science. So for example, I think I can share with you here. There are different ways to practice Xu Lim Tao. So this one, as everybody know, in my YouTube. As everybody want in my YouTube. You can see that. Well, according to the H model, it is at this level. Now, in terms of, as I put it in the Wing Chun Inception, there's the physical body, breathing, and chi synchronization. That's for recovery. This is what I shared the other day. So in terms of the H model or today's sports science, that thing is above here. And again, it is the desynchronization, which is everything here. Now tell me, your Xu Lim Tao, what do you develop there? Do you develop that? If you don't develop that, you don't even know the first move. So that's how serious it is. So I'm not saying here whose Wing Chun is good, whose Wing Chun is bad, which lineage is good, which lineage is bad. I'm saying that the Wing Chun education have already bankrupt. What are you guys teaching your students? You don't even have the very basic. One side is the recovery, one side is the training. As I share with you with these two videos. And you need to train your Xu Lim Tao first, like the S21, in one way, in the recovery way. And then only later you can get it good, then you can get the training way. But what do you train in your Xu Lim Tao? Your body is in a structure not moving, it's moving only your hand. And then somebody will do this, somebody do all this kind of thing. What is that related to your body, your physical body and your breathing? So it's all superficial stuff, not whatever inside. You go to a gym, practice Western boxing, they get you to functional training for the first 3 months, and then going to shadow boxing. That's what your set has to be doing. And now, did anybody doing those kind of things? So how do you expect to go to sparring or fighting without practicing this? You have a gap there. That's why you keeping doing chi sao, your wooden dummy, your sets. You will never get to the fighting level. And you're fighting, you only do one thing, like your straight line chain punch. Okay? Or you just brute force with your body. But that gap of functional training and the shadow boxing, which everybody have in today's martial arts, you don't have it. If this is not educational bankrupt, what is it? And of course, you cannot spar if you don't go through the functional training and the shadow boxing. How can you spar? What do you guys think?
Yes, you're right, because sparring needs a lot of functional training. You need to shadow boxing. You need to build your body for boxing, and there are so many things which you have to do before you go to sparring and before you become a good boxer. So, but if you, with all the functional training, all the training that I used to have in boxing, and still nowadays they have more opportunities to become better. So the sports science is evolving, and they use all this stuff. And in boxing, you can be really good with all the things that they have within months. Okay, so you can become a good boxer.
No,
this is,
we step back one step. You practice karate too. I practice karate too.
Right.
Didn't everybody in karate, or before you can go to, I'm in Kyokushin, before I got to yellow belt, I'm not supposed to spar. But before that, I always do the kihon, right? And then I always kihon and 1 step, 2 step, 3 step sparring, keeping doing it, drilling it every day, non-stop. So that is the functional training. That is the shadow boxing, right? You can see that in the Bubishi book, okay? So you keeping doing that. And then you you pass your test in yellow belt, your stamina, everything, then you are okay to go sparring. Do you have those kind of body training? If you don't, I really don't know how you're going to train somebody to fight. Now, saying that, I'm not saying that everybody should learn how to fight. Well, in the Shulim talk I just shared with you, say I'm 60 something now, I start to practice martial arts. In the proper way, if I have a body misaligned and I have a body conditions, then the teacher will say, okay, you learn the recovery part, but don't do the momentum part. Okay, now, today, what we face is a completely different story. You have a completely blackout there. So you don't have, like in the karate term, you don't have the kihon, you don't have the the basic, you don't have the 3-step sparring. I really don't know. And then you say, oh, this is my Wing Chun. This is that Wing Chun. What Wing Chun? If you don't even have the Kihon, you don't have the 1-step, 2-step, 3-step sparring, which is following the Bubishi, what do you have?
True, true. I mean, it is like that because if I remember when I started to spar in karate, I was I think green belt, blue belt, something like that. And before I was all doing all this stuff, like the body, how to condition my body, how to become a good kicker and puncher and all that stuff. And before I really started to do sparring, free sparring, because in Shotokan karate we don't. They call it kumite, so you go for tournaments and competitions, and where you can fight. So it was really high belt, like blue belt, something like that, before I went to sparring, because you need all this the functional training. You have to build your body. You have to know how to move with your body before you go to something like that. And yes, it's true. And in boxing, the same thing.
In boxing,
and it depends on age. In every
yes,
any kind of martial art.
It doesn't matter. It is Western boxing, karate, Thai boxing. Everybody condition their body, which is the functional training. They do it that way. They condition their body in a different way.
Yes.
And then doing the shadow boxing, their way of martial arts. Now you look at Wing Chun, what do you have? And instead you have all this and that and that and that and my Wing Chun, your Wing Chun. At the end, and then all talk philosophy. Bruce Lee said flow. Flow what? If you don't have functional training and that shadow boxing, what flow? You couldn't even move. You couldn't even breathe. How many rounds can you go? 3 minutes per round, 3 rounds, 10 minutes. Can you handle that if you don't know how to breathe?
True.
So that's why I showed the other day. What you want to do shooting Tao, when you get up to that level, the breathing.
Yes. Breathing is really important. Even karate, I can remember when we did, every time we did kata, for example, the forms, I had to know how to breathe right when I was, doing a technique. In boxing, the same thing. When I did the jab or punch, I need to know how to breathe, because unless you don't have the stamina for that, and if you don't have stamina, you can't fight. So it's missing in Wing Chun.
So I'm not trying to looking for trouble for everybody. I'm just saying that their education's now bankrupt. If you don't restore that, then you got problem. So like the other day, people, even though I share this, people still ask me about sparring. You know what? People should ask me, how is the functional training? Can you show me more on the functional training in the sets and then the shadow boxing in the sets? Instead of like act like know it all and then want to go, how do we use the short strike in the sparring? So that is why when people ask me these questions, you go check in Western boxing or Thai boxing or Kyokushin. Isn't it every day? It's just the same basic stuff again and again, again and again.
Yes.
So I ask people, do you know what I'm talking about? Functional training and shadow boxing. I know they copy from a website to reply me, but do they really know? Of course not. They do not know how serious that problem is. Well, from that's why I don't buy in when people told me I have a 20 years this, 30 years this. You have no idea what it is. Have you been prepared to join one of the open tournament? If you never do that, no, don't tell me about I have 10 years in this, 10 years in that, and then show some this thing. That means you never been trained to do the job. So okay. The thing is that I already say that functional training and shadow boxing many people don't know how to read my book. Clearly wrote down their functional training. It defines all those things. And then it defines power and strength and so forth. And then over here, it says that functional training for momentum. The guy who do modern sport type of martial art know exactly what it is. But the guy who have their mind thinking about this internal, that internal will have no clue of what I'm talking about. And not even Wing Chuners. Many people who claim that they do karate, do this, do that, they have no clue what I'm talking about. So for me is that this is have a gap there. Try to do things here and expect someday they can go fight. And learning some technique and thinking, that's why they ask me, their logic is, oh yeah, you know, Henrik, you talk about this functional training and all this shadow boxing, you know, for them it's not important. The important is, Henrik, how can I use these techniques on the sparring? And that's what I'm saying. My analogy is I already tell you how to go from San Jose to San Francisco, go through highway. But you can come back and say, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, but how am I going to get there? So that means that the person have no idea, have never really trained that. So that's why my test for usual people is like, can you do a squat? If you cannot do a squat, you want to say you want to fight. How can you spar? How can you spar if you cannot do a squat? Look at the box, even Western boxer, they squat good.
Yes, they do.
Not to mention all this grapple friend. They have to walk with their knee. And if you don't even know how to squat, and you tell me I have 20 years of experience, I say it's nonsense. You cannot face a 6-month-old proper training. Western boxing, Thai boxing, grappling, jiu-jitsu, BJJ, you cannot face that. Because you don't have the body, you never train, you just only in here. You think you know, but you don't know. So this is how serious it is. Are we still going, your Wing Chun, my Wing Chun? Oh, my Wing Chun is I add this BJJ. I add what Wing Chun? If you want to study BJJ, go study BJJ. Study it properly. If you want to study Western boxing, go study it properly. Don't learn a little bit here, take a little bit here and there, and do not have the full training and then say, well, this is my Wing Chun. Wing Chun for what? So right now, the bottom line, it fall flat is, how do you train your breathing in your Wing Chun sets? Answer me. How do you training your breathing in the Wing Chun sets?
True. They can't, not the way they do the form. So I never knew about breathing in the form. I never knew anything about functional training concerning Wing Chun before I met you, and this everything that I know I learned from you, and this is what I was looking for all the time, all through the whole years, and now you finally somebody talks about it, which is really important. So yes, and in the form nobody has it, and nobody talked about it.
Well, you know the problem. There are a few problems in breathing. You just look at it, you know. The reason one people cannot take it is number one keeping exhale, do not inhale. They forgot to inhale, forgot to breathing at all. You look around, people doing that, especially when they praise Yu Lim Tao. After a while, all kind of stuff is they don't know how to breathe. Their breathing in and breathing out is not balanced. So in today's sports science terms, it means that the oxygen and carbon dioxide is not balanced there. Long term, to do that is going to screw your body. And if you stop breathing or you keep exhaling, you're going to get dizzy. And it's not good for your body. Well, that's the basic thing. So why do you want to sing qi to dan tian, all those things? Why in the ancient is keeping telling you following the nature, following the nature? Because you need to balance the inhale, the exhale. And then when you balance that, your intra-abdominal pressure come into play as another part. How deep you breathe, your inhale, exhale balancing, your intra-abdominal pressure, which is holding your core or strengthening your core. You want to talk Qi Gong, internal? Are you serious? So that's why I'm saying, can you handle the inhale, exhale balancing? Can you inhale, handle your core simultaneously? If not, what internal? So I
and
call
even
it
the internal abdominal pressure, which is really important to handle it. Yeah, one has to be able to handle the intra-abdominal pressure. So, and for example, BJJ, somebody's doing going for the cross side or knee on belly, and it makes pressure, and if I stop to breathe, then it's over, because then I have to tap. So I still need to breathe even when somebody's putting pressure on you. If you get to breathe, it's just an example. It's really hard, you know.
It is really simple as this. Just watch this me carefully when I thrust forward. So when I thrust forward, if I do not be able to handle my core, I cannot go. That is with your intra-abdominal pressure. Thing is not that complex or not that deep. It is a natural humans handling. So it is problem is when something is in front of us, we don't see it. Well, for sure, that means that we don't know. If you don't have that training, how can you go up there? It's never only footwork when you want to go forward in the real life. It's never only footwork. It is body work. Your core handling has to be good.
I agree.
So today people say, well, footwork. What footwork? If you cannot handle your body, you can have all your footwork. That's called dance. So That's why I said up to now, it is already, we know that the entire Wing Chun education for past 140 years is already bankrupt. If we don't restore the functional training, shadow boxing, the breathing, the body handling, there is no Wing Chun. Don't kid ourselves. Your sets, your secret sets, all, it doesn't do anything. So what do you think, Raymond?
Yeah, it's good that you tell this, because people can learn now. They can change it, and they can do that too. What you said, like shadow boxing and training that way. Not seesaw and wooded dummy. Hey, train proper, so you can go to spa. That you understand what you need to come there.
So once one know that, one will be able to train the functional training and the shadow boxing, and then not start there and trying to make your play your 小念頭, say my 吞手 have to be this degree, that degree, that degree, 5 degree here, and what degree? Okay. You know what? You need to know what is the real world, then a fantasy world out there, or my Tansa have to be doing this 550 degree or whatever. I mean, what are you doing? So this is for everybody today. I know, it's going to shock everybody, but the solution is there. Okay. Functional training, shadow boxing with the Wing Chun way. Otherwise, there's no Wing Chun. Don't kid ourselves. Other people know us. Xi Xiao don't know us. Okay. So this is for everybody today.
Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank
you.